as parents, and as parents of children old enough to be quite heavily involved in social media, this is really worrying, isn't it, Nadia? You and Maddie have been sort of ahead of the curve on this.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I am, because I've said it before on the show. I feel like I've made mistakes. I've made mistakes out of being really gullible and naive and handing these phones to my children that are highly addictive, very expensive pieces of kit, and they are so confused because they see me on my phone all the time, and then every so often I'm like, I panic around their phone, and you know, they are addicted. I think that we're pulling the wool over our eyes if we don't think our children are addicted. You know, scientific fact that every time that little sound goes off and they get another like, dopamine is released into the brain in the same way that cocaine is. So it is a highly addictive thing. And I have always said that I keep a very open dialogue with Maddie because I don't want to be hysterical and I don't want her to stop telling me what's going on, and we talk about it all the time. And not so long ago she was telling me about when she first went to school, to secondary school, and she hadn't had a phone. She was 12 at that time, and she said it was a nightmare. She said, Mum, I couldn't talk to you about it. There was all this stuff. It was like they were speaking double Dutch. I didn't know. She was panicking. I was staying up late to try and like study on what she needed to know about this phone. She would take a photo, and if there weren't enough likes, she would be panicking all night because the next day at school they would be saying, so how many likes did you get then? How many likes? So what? Oh, right. And she said it was just hell. Absolute hell.
I have to admit, Princess has got a phone, she's 10, and Junior's got one, he's 12. But they're not at the age where they're putting pictures out on social media to get likes, this and that. All Princess uses her for, I know, because they use my Apple ID, so it comes up on my thing. She'll like open up an app thing on how to look after a horse, and she does things like that, and she does this drawing thing.
So she's still using it in quite a young way.
She does this thing called Musically, but I check it and stuff, because I've made them very aware that people can pretend to be kids. Junior is a little bit different. He likes to watch things on YouTube about people watching football, and all his friends do it. Do you know what I mean? Is there anyone else like that? It drives me nuts. I'm like, why do you want to watch people talking about what they're playing on their football games?
Do you worry that they could get addicted? Because the thing is...
No, I take it off them at night, and they don't have their phone at their dad's.
I don't think that guarantees it.
I go through their history on... Because I thought, right, I'm going to catch Junior out because he's so cheeky. So I go through his history, what he's looked at online, and it's all about football. It's not even about girls.
I think it's really important that it doesn't go into the bedroom. I think that's really important because I remember I was reading an article the other day and a policeman was quoted and he said, you are basically inviting into your child's bedroom all of those people that you spend your whole time protecting them from. So, you know, groomers, paedophiles, this, that, all of these corrupt influences. You give your child a smartphone and allow them on it in their bedroom at night. It's literally like saying to them, come on, walk up the stairs and have complete access to your child.
What do you do? What do you do when they are already in their teens and they're already very established that they have their phone in their room? Because there'll be lots of parents thinking,
I think the later that they get a phone, the better, because their brains are a little bit more... For me, it is the worry now that more and more, you know, we're talking here about 10 and 11-year-olds. Your brain, your social experience just is not equipped to deal with what comes your way from people that you probably don't even know. I mean, I was reading the other day, these stats, there's 83 million people on Facebook who aren't even who they say they are.
That is.
83 million on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then 48 million users on Twitter are actually robots.
Or bullies.
But, you know, but the thing is, we keep putting our head in our hands, and we are handing these children these devices. We we talk a lot about this on the show. We talk a lot about this amongst ourselves, don't we? About saying we are scared, and we've got to keep on asking the questions, and we've got to keep looking for a way to help them navigate their way through this world that we've given them. We've given them it.
Yeah, there is software coming that's going to get to grips with all of this, but I was talking to this company called SafeToNet, researching it for an article, and they said the most vulnerable are 12-year-old boys.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and everyone's worrying about the girls.
Because they're sent pictures of very glamorous girls online.
Saying, I want to be your friend.
Now, this is the thing.
And then they're asked for pictures.
Because I always say to him, whatever you do, never send a picture, I think I said this before, of body shots or anything. And when I look through his phone, the girls his age, sometimes I feel like phoning their parents up saying, do you realise what kind of pictures your girls send? Bras, knickers, posing this, they're 12. And I'm like, Jesus, if they're sending that at this age, what
Well,
else?
what's happening with a lot of boys, they're being encouraged to send photos of themselves and then they're being blackmailed.
Yeah.
Because
I
then they're
wouldn't have it.
mortified that they've sent a photo out. And, you know, you can understand how it happens, can't you?
Yeah.
So, you know...
think as
But,
well-
you know, the social media sites are not getting to grips with this because
No.
there's so much money in it for them. But I do believe there are lots of companies this year that are working on software that will help parents.
I've
also
talked
think-
directly to quite a few of these people, the apps, and I've talked directly to them, and honestly, a lot of them are so naive. They say, oh, well, we invented this because we wanted children to da-da-da. Say, yeah, but you can't. You've let 100 cats out of the box. What are you going to do now? You can't control it. You've got to think more up in Silicon Valley how these apps are going to be used by children. As my Maddie says, they decide how we're going to interpret them and use them,
They're
but they're
making
not a
billions.
14-year-old girl, so
Making
they don't
billions.
know.